Right.
Well, why don't I pick up from
yeah.
here, okay?
Okay, Blair,
Great.
just introduce yourself. All I know is Blair. I'm quite new to this, as you know. All I know is your name is Blair Baker, and you've got a background expertise in FXCM. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. So,
If you could just introduce yourself to the guys on. We've got 25 people on this call. There's probably a load more live on YouTube as well. If you could just give us a quick introduction of who you are, what you've been up to for the last couple of years or the last 10 years, and basically what your expertise is, and what you've got planned for DasCoin over the next couple of years.
sure. So, thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. So, I come from Wall Street in New York, and my background is I helped launch the world's largest foreign exchange broker on day one, starting back in 1999. I have run other large sell-side organizations, FX brokers, grew their their market cap to over 250 million US dollars. I was a central banker in Asia for 4 years. I reported directly to the governor of a central bank here in Asia. I've also run large buy-side organizations in the credit markets and equity markets. Got involved in cryptocurrency years ago when I helped a colleague set up a trading exchange here in Asia that intermediated assets such as cryptocurrencies, digital assets, foreign exchange, and over-the-counter instruments like contracts for difference and CFDs. So in teaming up with Terry and colleagues to build out the DasCoin ecosystem and to work to provide value to the DasCoin network, we identified a couple of early wins and initiatives that I wanted to focus on specifically. The first was regarding the introduction of a public exchange. So with my contacts on Wall Street, we have brought forth some technology that will become an integral component of the DasCoin ecosystem. So my colleagues have invested since the 1990s more than 20 million US dollars in building out the premier exchange trading management software in the industry. So when we think about trading platforms like could be IGs or FXCMs or Rwandas, those are essentially just trading platforms. Those are just platforms where a broker will trade with a client. What we are offering, what we are bringing to the table is one dimension beyond that. We're bringing the full exchange traded technology with a best bid and best offer matching engine. We have the capacity to add thousands and thousands of banks to our exchange as both makers and takers of liquidity. We have the ability to support algorithmic trading and high frequency trading. We have third-party solutions to third-party trading platforms like MT4, MetaTrader 4. So we're able to connect our various digital coin wallets to third-party technology such as MetaQuote's MT4 platform, which is the most popular retail platform in the world. So with regard to DasCoin, we will have a new trading venue established where DasCoin as a spot instrument against traditional fiat currencies such as euro, US dollar, Japanese yen, Hong Kong dollar, British pound, etc. can be traded. And we will also be introducing DasCoin futures. So when you think about a futures contract, whether you're trading oil futures or Bitcoin futures, futures contracts may have an expiry every month or every quarter. And one of the reasons why we want to introduce DasCoin futures is to promote price transparency and price discovery across the futures curve. So by offering futures trading contracts in DasCoin, we will provide the market with risk management tools and hedging tools through which they can manage their positions in DasCoin and also speculate. So that is one component. That is the proprietary exchange trading technology that we're bringing to the market. I can tell you that if you look at the most popular trading crypto exchanges in the world, such as Huobi and OKCoin and BTC and others, none of them have trading technology such as ours. I was in a presentation earlier today, this evening, with Matthias and Paul and others, and they had an opportunity to look at the trading technology themselves. And I think if they were participating, they would tell you that it is very, very advanced trading software and an exchange solution that we're bringing to the market. So that's the first major initiative that makes me personally excited about growing the value of the DasCoin network. The second one, as Paul was alluding to, is solving a problem which I think has confounded crypto coin enthusiasts and users and investors since day one, which is, okay, I've just bought this Bitcoin, I've got it in a digital wallet, or I've just bought Litecoin, or I've just bought one of the other 708 cryptocurrencies that are out there. Now, what do I do with it? What exactly do I do with this cryptocurrency? So if we look at that from the perspective of, let's say, the telecommunications industry, they call that the last mile. Or if you're running a marathon, mile 25 and mile 26 are always the most difficult miles. In cryptocurrency, the last mile would be, okay, I've done all of the things, but how do I actually use it? How do I spend it on goods and services? So through our relationships with the leading technology payment specialist companies in the world, we have figured that answer out. We have determined how to utilize Bitcoin and other crypto assets to actually spend them agnostically for goods and services. So the very brief solution, not to bore you with the tedium, the very brief solution involves a holistic prepaid ecosystem. So if you think about a piece of plastic, be it a credit card or a debit card or a prepaid card in your wallet, in your physical wallet, through existing technology, we have the ability to store those cards securely on mobile devices, on iOS systems and on Android systems. That storage activity is called host card emulation. So when you think about payment solutions that are out there in the mobile space, you have Android Pay, you have Google Pay, and you have Apple Pay. Those are the three. Our colleagues designed one of those systems. In other words, one of those systems was developed on our colleagues' platform. So what we have is we have the ability to actually utilize a mobile device, call it a mobile telephone, and to actually pay for goods and services using Bitcoin and using other crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, in real time at mobile payments terminals that are equipped with near-field communications. So if I go to a 7-Eleven and I want to purchase a bottle of water or coffee, I can actually utilize the value that is sitting in my digital wallet through Bitcoin or other crypto asset, and I can pay for that coffee without having to take out a piece of plastic out of my wallet, without having to reach into my wallet for currency. So when a transaction is done, there's a corresponding debit of Bitcoin or another coin from the wallet. Now, I'm talking very generically and amorphously here about cryptocurrency. The specific application that we are most interested in here relates to DasCoin. So as DasCoin starts to become circulated in the market, starting January 14th, when DasCoin will be minted, the liquidity that underpins DasCoin will increase as more transactions take place, as more people purchase DasCoin, as more people utilize DasCoin on the internal exchange, and as more people trade DasCoin on the public external exchange that I just outlined. So as liquidity is increased, that will give us the ability to utilize DasCoin for mobile payments transactions. So that is a technology solution that actually solves the long-standing problem, which is the last mile in cryptocurrency. Now that I have it, how do I spend it? How is it exchangeable? How is it convertible? How is it fungible? So those are two proprietary initiatives that we have with DasCoin that are working to create additional stakeholder value, stakeholder benefit, and also increase the overall network value in DasCoin. Because as we provide additional innovation to the DasCoin ecosystem, DasCoin will have a tendency to most likely increase in value, and that'll be beneficial to participants. So that's just a very brief outline about a couple of the exciting ways and initiatives that we have in front of us with regard to DasCoin.
Okay, that was a lot of information to take in, probably overwhelming for a lot of people, but yeah, so it's very interesting to take in. I got some quick questions myself to put to you. I'm not sure if Terry can come back in. I'm not sure if Terry's still available to talk or.
Adrian, is it working now?
Yes, it is, Terry.
Right, Terry, just bear with me a few minutes. I'll finish off with Blair first, and then I'll come back to you. Is that all right?
That's perfect. Thank you. I'm glad it's working.
So, Blair, there's a lot of information to take in. Obviously, this has been recorded. I've tried to take some notes here, and don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert. I'm a property expert. I'm an internet marketing expert. I'm not a cryptocurrency expert, but I am. A lot of the guys in here are internet marketers. They're in this to make money, and they don't really understand. A lot of people don't understand the cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't understand what they're getting involved with. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of schemes, a lot of scams out there that actually they're out there now actually trading as schemes and scams. There's new ones coming up every day. They're here today, gone tomorrow. So whose idea was to bring this DasCoin to the MLM space rather than just do it normally? Who's that down to?
Yeah, so I'm going to defer to Terry on that.
Certainly can speak.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Terry.
Great. Okay. So I think there's a lot in there, and thank you that I wasn't able to connect proxy. I'm glad that I'm on now. And thanks, Paul and Matthias, for your narrative earlier. So Michael Matthias is really the founder. It was his idea initially. About a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, we began this journey, and I think the four people involved early on, George Sarsevich, John Prado, Michael Matthias, and myself, and we've been working very, very actively on it ever since. So the reason we selected network marketing is that it requires in order to really, there's Michael on the screen. Yeah. In order to communicate with millions of people on a global basis, there's political differences, there's economic differences, but we really needed to provide a solid foundation of education and get the right message across in order to reach the masses. And in all of our research and decision making, there truly was no better platform to do that other than through network marketing. And so if we can grow on a global scale quickly and by providing the right message to be that we're growing, then that will be one element of success on the journey towards creating a global cryptocurrency. And that's really the backbone of that. There really is no better alternative or faster alternative. And so I'm not sure what you meant by traditional method of just starting a cryptocurrency and hoping that it gets picked up on the exchanges. Usually associated with that is a lot of speculation and hype, and you see that many of them rise and fall. And that's not a great currency. It's a fun speculation game.
Okay, that's great. Are you relying on, I can see a few questions starting to come in as well. Are you relying, where's all the money coming from? I'm sharing my screen, obviously, at the moment. That's you there, Terry, isn't it? Terry O'Hearn, that's you there. Okay, so you're the executive chairman, is that right?
I missed that last part.
So you're the executive chairman for DAS Financial AG.
Correct. And DAS Financial oversees the master nodes on the distributed network, as well as a heavy element of new product development and introducing. We have many ideas and plans as we evolve, as two of which are directly associated with Blair. So Blair and I are working closely together to bring the exchange, the public exchange, to life, and DasPay.
So Terry, I think Christian Samuel has a question which is on the right side of the screen. He asks about DasCoin being centralized or decentralized.
So that's actually a very good question, because when we did our analysis of certainly every major, like the top, even the top 50 or so cryptocurrencies that are in the marketplace now, we took a look at the pros and cons of each, and we really grouped most of them into two categories: either decentralized, like a Bitcoin, or heavily centralized. And there was this noticeable stood at in either camp, or both camps, that this decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin had challenges like no unified marketing voice behind it, no advocates to promote the brand, to bring merchants to the ecosystem, and so on, no efficient decision-making system, and so on. The centralized cryptocurrencies, they have their own set of complexities and issues, and plagued with negative opinions out there. And so we took what we're referring to as a hybrid approach. We tried to take some of the elements of transparency, blockchain technology, and so forth from the decentralized marketplace, incorporated that into our core architecture and culture, and then took what we feel are the best features as it relates to the centralized model, like marketing, voice, then approach the market that way. So it's a hybrid, is the way we think of it, as opposed to a decentralized. And the second part of your question, is it regulated? This space on a global basis, so we love this question, but this space on a global basis, there are no regulations, so it's not a regulated space. We are working with the regulators. We have, as Paul mentioned a couple of times, so we have some of the largest accounting firms in the world, such as PricewaterhouseCoopers, so PwC, who's involved in our KYC compliancy. They're doing the top level compliancy. We've been in the previous chairman of Baker McKenzie, the one at the time, the largest law firm in the world. I think one other law firm has passed them now, but his name is KK Wong. He's doing some advising and has been good enough to be an advisor. And we've, through some of the connections that we have, we've been able to actually work with regulators, such as the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So we've been in their office. We've met with them. We've disclosed in fairly good detail what we're doing. We had an opportunity to discuss with them what their primary concerns are. And we've had discussions with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. We've been invited to speak with the Central Bank of Malaysia. We're open to speaking to virtually any regulator on a global basis, because what we really want to do is to help them and bring in regulation, because like it or not, it's coming. And so we feel that if we can work with them, communicate what we're up to, set the bar fairly high, it can get rid of a lot of the problem cryptocurrencies out there that are just sort of in it short term for a bit of a gain. And I think it'll open up an opportunity for us to reach that proverbial tipping point. And so we hope to be regulated, because we think that's where the industry will go from its current 18 billion to well in excess of $1 trillion in terms of market cap. And I'm happy to explain that in more detail, but hopefully that covers your question.
Yeah, that's great. Can you just explain quickly for the new people involved in this, the difference between a decentralized coin like Bitcoin and a centralized coin? Because most of the coins on the exchange, there's about 750 coins on there. Are all those decentralized coins or all centralized coins? How do you? What's your ratio, do you know?
Happily, I can speak to that. So if you take Bitcoin was really built around the model of being decentralized. So no government, no corporation, no person controlling it. And so that model was very interesting and very effective, and created a lot of interesting things. Probably the most important thing that it created was blockchain technology. And there's many, many pluses to what Bitcoin has achieved. And you know, hats off to them, whoever Sakamoto may be, or whoever, you know, group of people. But there's limitations. You know, sitting with the regulators, they're quite clear that there's three primary concerns. There's anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing, and proper KYC compliancy. And it's not, there's no fear about a cryptocurrency taking over a fiat currency, and you know, there's all sorts of political regimes that will stop that from happening. But they really are very, very concerned about those other aspects, and so you know, the decentralized cryptocurrency can't accommodate those features. So that's a bit of a problem. The centralized is when there is an entity, so a central bank that is responsible for issuing the fiat currency of a particular country, makes that a centralized currency. Some of the companies, and a lot of the ones that use a network marketing approach, and a lot of the ones that they're not listed on CoinMarketCap, for example, they're centralized. Many of the others, either they imply that they intend to be decentralized. The reality is many of the others, either intentionally or by circumstance, through their decisions, show that there really is a centralized aspect to them. Take Ethereum, for example. The founder went in and made the decision to fork the blockchain. An example of a centralized decision operating on a decentralized platform. So it's at the end of the day, I think that we will see a greater and greater respect for a centralized elements, yet the transparency and well, the transparency being the most important aspect to the public is so that they really see that nothing is being artificially manipulated, and you can feel comfortable that as best as possible your participation and your finances are safe.
Okay, that's
so
great.
That, I hope that.
Yeah, that's great. Great answer for that. Just talking of legislation you mentioned there, we all know this governing body out in America called the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, which got an habit of shutting down MLM companies if they're not set up properly and sort of regulated properly. And a lot of companies, I've known some MLM Bitcoin companies to move out of the USA, take away and not allow US living citizens to sign up into an MLM company. There's a lot. So is that, how does that fit in with, how does DasCoin fit in with the SEC and legislation up in the US?
Yeah, there's a few governing bodies in the U.S. That you have to be concerned about, and you have to tread lightly around, and they don't always operate in unison or in harmony. So that makes the U.S. an interesting and complex market. But we're using the U.S. as kind of our bar of what we need to operate as a standard. To satisfy the U.S. would mean that we would pretty much satisfy every other country in the on Earth. So that's what we're working towards. We have actually a team of lawyers filtering through much of the minutia as it relates to introducing network marketing and cryptocurrency. We're there on an overall sense, but there's a couple of details that the legal teams are debating about, quite frankly, on how to best address it. And it's not whether or not if we can address it, it's really about how to best address it. And that's where we're at this stage, and those conversations are happening as we speak, and that's partly why there are a few reasons, and that's one of them why we wanted to start with an affiliate stage and then move to a network marketing, because there's no issues with the affiliate stage as it relates to that. But as soon as you use the word network marketing, it attracts a whole different set of eyes.
So I think if I can just summarize. So with regard to the United States, we have to differentiate between the various legal issues. So I think the question that you were posing, Adrian, had to do with regulations concerning marketing plans and MLM plans and the like. And Terry summarized by saying that legal counsel is reviewing different requirements. When we're talking about cryptocurrencies as trading instruments themselves, the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, deemed Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to now be regulated assets. So there's as far as transacting and trading in the United States, there's a whole separate layer of regulatory requirements which need to be conformed to and satisfied, which is a separate conversation altogether. I think there's a couple more questions here. Someone named Ronan is asking about which payment platforms are going to be used to purchase licenses.
Yeah.
So right now it's Bitcoin, wire transfer, and when you have commissions in your back office, you can actually purchase gift codes and collect payment from your the party you're sponsoring.
Okay, that's great.
So those are the three. We are working with to very actively to introduce a few other options.
Okay.
Credit cards and.
Would a direct credit card payment ever be brought in, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or not?
So hopefully and we are working with them now to make that a real possibility. The challenges there relate to the fact that we're dealing partially with network marketing and dealing with cryptocurrencies. So, but I think that we're getting over that hurdle and hope to be able to introduce those soon as payment options.
I just want to check. I've got a few more questions myself.
Yeah, so Christian, sorry to interrupt you here, Adrian. Christian has asked 2 more questions. Let me take the second one, which is the bottom one, regarding how the system prevents fraud and money laundering. So I think to revisit something Terry talked about, the first line of defense with regard to fraud and money laundering and other unsavory activities that could possibly prejudice the blockchain or the ecosystem in a negative way is actually a good offense. And that really has to do with the quality of the onboarding process as it pertains to know your client and the types of documentation required, the types of data and information that need to be provided in order to join the DasCoin ecosystem. So in contrast with Bitcoin, where pretty much anybody with a digital wallet can receive Bitcoin, be they good people or bad people. With regard to DasCoin, it's incumbent upon the DasCoin ecosystem to actually vet and verify and check that each person who is coming onto the system is not a person who has run afoul of regulators or the law. So there are many ways of conducting those types of verifications. They can be outsourced to third-party companies, but typically with regard to, let's say, the United States, you would verify that through the Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, and also through the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, which is FinCEN. So for all intents and purposes, those are agencies or departments or branches of the United States Treasury. So if one were to have any sort of problem from a regulatory standpoint or be wanted for any sort of financial crime, then one's name would appear on those lists. I'm not just talking about U.S. citizens or residents. I'm talking about persons all over the world. Much as financial institutions and banks are required to periodically and regularly check the, let's just say, the status of their clients and deposit holders, DasCoin will also be scrubbing those data, from time to time as well. So just because a person might be in good stead on January 1st, it doesn't mean that they're going to be in good stead on June 30th. They could go out there and rob a bank and be wanted or something, hypothetically. So it's that continuing and iterative compliance, oversight, and KYC being conducted in the DasCoin ecosystem that really acts and serves as the principal line of defense against fraud and against money laundering and the like. So hopefully that, Christian, hopefully that began to address your query.
Okay, that's great. That's a great answer. Well, just quickly moving on to what about security? You've heard in the news the last couple of weeks about Bitcoin wallets being hacked and millions being stolen. So what about what safety features have you got in place for DasCoin from a 2FA point of view, two-factor authentication, or what's the possibility of any coins being stolen?
So the issues that have occurred in the recent times with you might be referencing Bitfinex, the Hong Kong exchange. Bitcoin as a distributed network hasn't been hacked, to my knowledge. Hasn't been successfully hacked, to the best of my knowledge. And any of the issues that have occurred, including like Bitfinex, have occurred on an exchange, and in that case, I've not really heard why they were storing the. I think there's more information to come on what went on there, because they were holding keys that maybe they shouldn't have had. They were not holding the coins in cold storage. There's something that's not making sense, and so there's certainly a human element there. But in terms of DasCoin's network, it is a distributed network. It uses like your peer-to-peer vault, and so the likelihood of the network being hacked is successfully hacked is extremely low. And quite frankly, the larger the network, the more secure it is. And to address Christian's other question, the larger the network, not only is it more secure, it's also faster. And so those instant transactions are possible and achievable. The approval times don't have to wait for the 10 minutes or multiple 10-minute blocks to be make the transaction irreversible. They'll be instant.
So when people log in and want to transfer money, will there be a 2FA authenticator, like a double security backup?
So some of the, yes, but and that's so when you log in, what we're talking about there is logging into your web wallet, and so some of that security is actually being addressed now. That there's a pretty robust plan. I think Matthias and Paul are bringing some people to meet with the tech team in Europe in the middle of October, and I'll actually be joining them, and we'll be going through some of those details further for a better explanation. If Michael was on the call, he oversees the tech development side of it, but he would better be in a better position to explain the where we're at with that. But it is certainly a secure two-phase authentication.
So there's a question there about operating a binary system.
Yeah, Ronan's asking, are you going to operate on a binary system, and do we need to qualify for downline commissions, and how will that work?
Yes, it's a binary, and so depending on what level of license you have, that's one aspect, and that as it relates to the matching bonuses. It's a very simple plan. You do need to have a direct sponsor on your on both legs, or direct referral on both legs, but of a modest size. The manager license are 500 euros, and then you would qualify.
Okay, I thought that's 500 euros. Is there a 100 euro entry level as well? What's the difference? There's a minimum 100 entry level. Is that right? License?
100 is the lowest level or lowest priced license that's being offered. To qualify for the binary or the 10% pay on your pay leg, that is that requires the 500 euro license, on a minimum of 500 euro license as a direct referral on both sides.
Okay, minimum of 500. Okay. Yeah. Just checking more questions. Just in that short video I done at the beginning, the promotional video, the DasCoin promotional video, the 2-minute long video, it mentioned that decentralized coins like Bitcoin, and he also talked about centralized coins like OneCoin. So one of the guys in our chat, in our WhatsApp chat, a guy called Altef Patel, he mentioned that this program, the DasCoin concept is very similar to OneCoin. I'm not sure what he's referring to. We really meant from a product point of view or from a binary compensation point of view. Can you put any enlightenment on that? Is there any comparison?
I guess depending on from what eyes you're looking at it, yes, there is a comparison in the sense that it's using a network marketing model. They did that extremely successfully, and part of the reason why they were successful with that was the simple and easy to understand plan that they had. We built a plan in a manner that was as simple as possible, but with a few extra benefits for the network, and we think that it'll be very effective. That's about the extent of where there's direct similarities. Now, the licenses that we have, one could draw an analogy to what OneCoin did, but many of the marketing, network marketing cryptocurrencies out there use some form of a iteration of this plan. But fundamentally, at the very core, when you step away from the marketing aspect of it, there are no similarities.
And from a product point of view, obviously the technology, what has DasCoin got that OneCoin hasn't got, then comparing like for like, technology-wise, product-wise?
Transparency is a critical one. The fact that, for example, and I don't want to make this about OneCoin, DasCoin, but OneCoin uses a central server, and so they've been quite proud to point out that they've not been hacked. But why would someone hack them? And I actually, I have investments in cryptocurrencies, and I have Bitcoin and I have OneCoin and so on. But why would anyone hack the server at this point when you can't do anything with the coins? Now, theoretically, that's changing soon. And if and when that does change and they have a value, then that server is a serious risk point for any of us that have coins.
Adrian, sorry for cutting in. Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to be very polite here. I'm going to be very polite. Everyone on this call knows I'm very honest. The big difference is like this. OneCoin is 100% a scam, and DasCoin is 100% real. Being working with the likes of PricewaterhouseCoopers, working with Blair, some of the biggest and who's who guys on the Wall Street market. So that's the answer. OneCoin is a scam, and I have no problem, people, because I'm sick of hearing that name, and that's the big difference. So Terry is a very polite and humble man, and Terry looked at the concept to learn from the concept because they have the best marketing strategy in the world. But it's like comparing a Mercedes to a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
OneCoin, listen, I hope I'm wrong, but that's the truth.
Right, okay. Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Guys, obviously it was impossible to keep this to less than an hour. I had a funny feeling, but guys, but it is important, we keep everyone happy. This is recorded. We could be on here for hours and hours, but all I want to know, one of my last questions is, obviously, back to OneCoin is the last thing. There's no external exchange with OneCoin. Is there going to be a real external exchange where DasCoin comes onto a real external exchange at some point in the future?
Yes. So as I mentioned during my soliloquy, we are introducing the technology that our colleagues on Wall Street started developing in the 1990s. And have invested more than $20 million US in bringing to market. So there are other exchanges that are utilizing this technology for other asset classes. This will be the first time that this technology is being utilized as a public exchange for cryptocurrency. As I mentioned earlier, we had a presentation earlier today with Paul and Matthias and others who had the opportunity to look at the exchange trading technology. So the technology, as I briefly outlined earlier, is very scalable. We have the ability to plug in thousands of other trading participants, be it buy side or sell side, brokers, banks, other exchanges. It's algorithmic friendly. It's high frequency trading friendly. So it's quite a comprehensive solution that will power DasCoin spot instruments against fiat currency, and also will power DasCoin futures instruments on this centralized exchange.
Okay, so we can yeah, go on.
Well, so that exchange that Blair is overseeing is really going to end up being the first public exchange that DasCoin is being traded on. So it really is open to the public market. It's real. It's probably the most sophisticated exchange in all cryptocurrencies. There will be an internal exchange in contrast, but that's meant to trade amongst the members for it serves a different purpose.
So DasCoin will come on to it will appear on CoinMarketCap.com at some point, will it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, absolutely. But CoinMarketCap.com is a private company that makes their own decisions. So we hope that they understand and respect what we're doing, and we hope we're included on that list. And but we certainly would comply with any of the criteria that they currently use to make decisions to include cryptocurrencies.
Okay, that's great.
Public exchange being the main one.
And what about if there's an internal exchange and an external exchange? There's going to be two different prices for two different coins. Am I right or wrong? And how are those coins valued on the external exchange when it happens?
Yeah, so not two different coins. It's but the just like Bitcoin is traded on multiple exchanges now. Think of it as a different exchange. So there may be arbitrage opportunities, but the reality is that the public market is going to be the one that influences and sets the price.
For example, I'm familiar with Bittrex and Blue Trade. Are you familiar with those two exchanges?
Blair, do you know those guys?
I know the former, yes.
Yeah, so I got my Bitcoins and my other coins on Bittrex, and that's where I store them, you know. I remove them into an external wallet for safety as well sometimes.
Good. So, very good.
Right, okay. Any more questions?
Yeah, I think there was one more question Christian had here regarding the need to back up the wallet, as with most coins, or does the system securely does it render it not necessary?
Yeah. Okay.
As of right now, the company, like Web Wallet, is a separate entity, separate from the coin leaders, the marketing entity, separate from DasCoin, the cryptocurrency. So it's, you know, that's part of that the decentralized model. So and Web Wallet as a company will not have access to your wallet. So the individual will be responsible for making sure that essentially that key is maintained, and that makes it as secure as possible.
Okay.
So it's yours.
I got one probably final question as any more comes in. If I want to, all I understand is cryptocurrency is about the movement of money from one part of the world to the other part of the world. If I want to send $1,000 from the UK to somebody in China, instantly within a few seconds, or like Bitcoin is sometimes can take a few hours. Is that possible with what the technology you got? If I want to send money instantly to anyone on the other side of the world?
Yes, that absolutely is possible, and that's certainly one of the use cases for cryptocurrency and those remittances on an international basis. That's very, very important. But I think that see many other use cases for them beyond, not for them, but for cryptocurrency beyond the medium of exchange and just transferring money internationally. I think that through the public exchange, you'll start to see a whole suite of product offerings that, so investment opportunities for people that cryptocurrency, and instead of just trying to figure out how you hold it and protect it without loss, if you choose or have the desire to have that asset making you a return, then much like you can invest in products on stock markets, we're looking to open that up to people through the public exchange.
Okay, that's great, Terry. I'm not sure there's any more questions, but I'm about to call it a day. But Blair, have you got anything to add? Because I appreciate, obviously, the both of you coming onto the call.
No, I do not. We thank you, Adrian. We thank you, everybody, for your participation. Thanks for bearing with some of these technical shortcomings and glitches. And we're happy to hop back on additional presentations and future calls as required.
That'll be great. Paul, Matthias, are you still there? Yeah, cheers, Terry.
Yeah, I'm there, Adrian. Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah, that's great. So again, thanks to you, Paul and Matthias, for as my upline here, for coming onto the call. And I'm looking forward to obviously the affiliate links coming through at some point. Is that going to be today or tomorrow, do you know?
That's the $1 million question. Terry, answer that one, please.
Today is the short answer, and so the dialogue that Matthias, Paul, and I are having with Michael, who's working with the tech team, we should have the. There's been, as possibly some or all of you know, there's been some special requests made by Paul and Matthias that have required an extra layer of development to provide some unique features to your group that and so it's a great addition, and look forward to offering that holding tank binary system for you so that you can place your own people. That is what's being released, and I think that down to the final tweaks, and so there's talk about it being just mere hours as opposed to tomorrow. So hopefully that stays on its current schedule.
Okay, so we could expect the affiliate links within the next 24 to 48 hours then, basically. Next 24 to 48 hours. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd like to finish up just a word from me and Matthias. Basically, you know, is a big thanks to Adrian for putting this call together. I know how big name Adrian has in the space. But guys, what I will say is this: from working online 8 years, I've seen some fantastic programs and I've seen some bad programs. I've seen some companies who've let me down and promised me everything, and when the cracks started appearing in the water, they ran away. You know, so for me and Matthias, my business partner, what we do is that anytime we join a program, like I call Matthias is he's the mathematician. He goes through the cracks and looks to break the system before he joins the system. You know, so we have different strengths we bring to the table. What I will say is this, and you know what I've seen in the last few days, and like any program we join, we go and meet the owners. We sat with Blair, we sat with Terry, and we spent a few days with them. Blair was showing me his exchange. They showed me everything, guys. There's like, we asked them every single question you can think they could be asked. You think of this: PricewaterhouseCoopers, the third biggest accounting firm in the world, FXEM, the largest brokerage firm in the world, are working now multi-level marketing. Some people don't like it, but you know what? It's the future. And we have something here now at the very, very beginning. If you take action right now and follow Adrian and his link, or whoever recommends you to the call, all these are Adrian's people, take some action, guys, because I truly believe we have something so, so special here. I mean that because it's not just about the product, guys. It's about the people behind the product. And these people they haven't got much network marketing experience, but they have huge, huge level of business experience that they bring to the table, and they're connected with some of the wealthiest people in the world. And their goal in here is to bring cryptocurrency to the mainstream. Remember this: somebody is going to bring cryptocurrency to the mainstream, so why not DasCoin? So with that, guys, I'll hand it back to Adrian, and thank you so much.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant finish there, Paul. Thanks for that. Thanks to my players. Thank you, Terry O'Hearn and Blair Baker. And this has been recorded, guys. I'll get a link out to you if you want to go back on it and go through all the Q&As and send it out to your team. But thanks again, everyone. Sorry for the, we well over the an hour, good hour and a half. So, but it was all good information and everything's been answered. I'm very happy with what I've heard. So I'm looking forward now to my affiliate link coming in and taking this to the next level. So again, thanks everyone. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Good day.
Good day. Cheers, everyone.